Welcome to Memento Vivere with Manny Rico. I am recording this as a YouTube video as well for the Sunday episode. So if you want to, see where I'm at, I'm in the forest. Well, okay, I'm in the mountains and it's very beautiful. It's like I'm in Chautauqua, my all-time favorite park. It's like so if you ever come to Chautauqua in Boulder, if you keep driving up the street, like if you keep going straight towards the street, you will go up the mountain, and there's like little stations where you can park and get off, and you just see a much more beautiful like view of the mountains, and it's so nice, and it's so like calming because it's usually very empty, and so you can just sit here and like ponder and just like just think. Which from the solar eclipse I have been thinking so much to the point where I have to tell my mind to shut up because it's just so unnecessary how much I'm overthinking, because it's like a cycle of like overthinking, anxiety, and then shutting off, and my Aquarius. Okay, so if you don't know an Aquarius, aquariums are very much like, they sometimes are the nicest, meanest people ever. So, we sometimes need our alone space, and we sometimes need our alone time, and we sometimes just need to be by ourselves and just be silent with ourselves. And sometimes, sorry, I'm like burping. I had coffee. Okay, so I went to Dutch Bros because of the boycott. We're not getting Starbucks, and I love the brown sugar shaken espresso. It's like the most, like it's insane. So I went to Dutch to see if because they have like every flavor in the world. So I went to ask them. I was like, hey, like, can you guys make me like a, like 4-shot espresso, iced oatmeal coffee with cinnamon syrup and cupcake syrup to give it that cinnamon twist. I mean that cinnamon. That's from Taco Bell. Cinnamon, brown sugar vibe, and I got it, and it was actually very good. It was actually very yummy. I do recommend it, but I've just been running on caffeine. I did have a protein shake, which, by the way, this like solar eclipse also like, it kind of like woke me up a little bit with just the way that I'm kind of like handling my days and like handling business during this time. So I've like been reflecting a lot, and it is important to do that during this time. Also, Mercury's in Gatorade. That's a little bit insane. That's a little bit crazy as well. Like both of them together. So during this time, like it is very important to like take time by yourself and like kind of like look at yourself and be like, okay, what am I doing? And I did that yesterday while journaling. I journaled my favorite quotes, because I love going on Pinterest. Like Pinterest is my all-time favorite like app in the world, and I love reading I don't know, like if you really have a really good feed and like you really work on your feed and like creating your boards, you get really amazing stuff recommended. So I wrote down my favorite ones. The first one is, the present moment deserves my attention. So during this time, it's really important to be present. Overall, in general, it's very important to be present because our mind and our body, they're going through a lot of changes, and if you're stuck in the past or in the future, you're not going to allow yourself to feel the things as you're going, and like you're not going to be present, and you're not going, it's we only have this time. Like this time, realizing, okay, look around you, feel your body, feel your heart, like physically feel it, and when you get in that state, it's very good to look at what your mind is telling, like what you're telling yourself, like what you're telling your mind. I've been reading a lot from that book, being it's like a brain book about changing your reality, and I forgot the name. I have really bad memory right now, which means I need to meditate more. But it was saying that the way that you talk to your mind is the way that you create your reality. So when you're present, you're really like paying attention to how you're speaking to yourself. So one of the things that I love to work on is telling myself very positive, nice things. And also it's kind of how you view the world. If the way that you're talking to yourself about what's going on around you in the world is, it does have an effect on your mood. It does have an effect on your day. It does have an effect on how you view your reality, because the way that you see the world is the way that it kind of goes for you. I think I'm like surrounded by a lot of like negative people who just pay attention to the news a lot. And like, yes, it is very important to be educated and not be ignorant in a sense, but I feel like looking at the news for like an hour straight, and just like, I feel like the news outlets are so negative and like they try to scare people. And I think sometimes you really do just have to say, okay, what can I do? Like, right, what can I possibly do right now? Like, what can I at least do, you know? And sometimes just like posting stuff about it on Instagram might help, or donating or whatever it is. But I don't think it's healthy to like look at the news like 24/7, and like it just creates this sense of like, I would be very anxious if I did that, because there's a lot of negative things that do happen and that are mainly highlighted, but there's just as much positive as well. There is positivity in the world, and there is good things going on in the world, and sometimes that doesn't get talked about. And so sometimes it is very healthy to pay attention to those things as well. And also just, you know, allowing yourself to just breathe in and breathe out, and like go do a hobby. Like, girl, like go take a breather. Like, go do something fun. Like, we forget that life is so short. Like, genuinely, life is extremely short. And if we don't pay attention to the present, that's all we have. Like, genuinely, right here, right now is all I have right now. Like, where I'm filming this right now today, like, this oxygen it might be my last like, you know, I did this meditation where I talked about like, this is the last time that anything occurs to us. So like, the last time you say bye to your mom, or the last time that you drive up in the mountains, or the last time that you take a sip of water, because you never know when life can end. Because it is, you know, like I wish to make it past like 28. I wish to make it past, you know, 60, 70. I think that's where my, like, you know, girl, no, like, I think that's my cutoff, 70. But you never know. And so sometimes this like solar, like this new wave of just like from the solar eclipse and Mercury and all those things, if we don't like turn it around and turn the energy around, it can develop like a really bad state of mind that I don't like to be in. So I've kind of learned how to, not necessarily fully learned, but I'm learning how to flip it and use my overthinking as a good thing, and use my, you know, whatever it is that I feel like I'm not doing well, switch it and learn a lesson, or do something that helps me learn. And I think that's really important, and that's why staying present and like realizing your actions and like looking at your actions is, I enjoy that, because it allows me to like look within and see, okay, I can like make this better, or I can do this that will improve, you know, my day, or you know, my week better, whatever. My next quote is, there are no alternative paths. So this is something that I really, really, really needed to hear and really needed to read and like cross my mind, because I dwell in the past a lot. Like, you know that movie, Everything Everywhere All at Once, how it showed all the different paths? Well, girl, that was me. Like, I am really good at like choosing specific scenarios that like something traumatic happened in my life, and being like, if this hadn't happened, this would have happened, and then you know, like you just get stuck in that cycle of like being in the past and just like wishing either things were different, or wishing like, you know, like just comparing yourself. And I feel like all of that kind of ties in from like, you know, dwelling in the past. And so there are no alternative, actually, I can't read you the full quote, but I posted it on my Instagram. If you want to look at it, it's on my Instagram. But there are no alternative paths. I think that's amazing and brilliant, and like, it's so true. We really don't, like, it's impossible to like, you know, actually have a different path, because this is what the universe wants for us. Like, yes, maybe in the past life, in the reincarnation or whatever, maybe, yes, we did have different paths. But, like, here right now, this is our life. Like, this is, you know, the Manny Rico life. And this is what the universe or myself or whatever, like, this is the path that I'm supposed to be on, because it's everything, every single, like, when you look back and you realize, like, every single thing that has happened to you has brought you to this moment and has, you know, shown you people, has shown you special people, has shown you your friends, have shown you, like, people that you really do care about. That's when you realize that everything, like, almost everything in your life happens for a reason. Almost everything, you know, in the world happens for a reason. And I don't think that goes to excuse, like, all the bad things that are going on right now, but I think that goes to show, like, your life, your specific life. So I've been reading Just Kids. My bestie Frankie recommended me that book, Just Kids, by Patti Smith, I believe. And as I was reading it, I realized, because it's about this, I don't know who these people are. I think they are famous. I think they are artists. I don't necessarily know who these people are. I'm just reading it because, you know, my buddy Frankie that makes amazing cakes. You should check out Sweet Lavender. They are, you know, they have good taste in books. So I'm like, I've been taking suggestions by people from their art, like what they love. And I've been watching the Supernatural. My friend Alyssa recommended me that show when we went to go watch Drag Race. So as you know, I've been going to watch Drag Race at the gay bar with my friends, and it's really fun. It's like almost watching the halftime show, but like every Friday, and like it's fun. And there's like tequila soda, and it's just like, it's just cute, you know, like surrounding yourself with queer people is, when you're queer, is something that you feel like at home, and like, you know, you know that you're not going to get judged, and like there's a lot of love, and like I think that's very beautiful and important. But I've been watching season 16, and okay, spoiler alert, 1, 2, 3. I'm so happy that Morphine won, because Morphine, I was rooting for her to win. Past like episode 7, I was like, oh, I don't think she's gonna win. So I'm now rooting for, honestly, like any of them can win. Any of 3 of them could win. I would be extremely happy. Yeah, in no order, all of them have the same, like, I'm rooting for all 3 of them the same. Because Plain Jane is an Aquarius, and Nymphia is a Scorpio moon, just like me, or Rising, one of those 2. But we went to watch Drag Race, and after that we had pizza. And, you know, since the boycott, I haven't been able to eat McDonald's, which I'm so happy that, like, I'm not happy. That's not what I meant. I meant, like, it's not eating McDonald's is so much healthier for people than people realize. Like, I genuinely have a very, like, I'm starting to be more more picky on what I eat, because a lot of things, like this bird flu going around, like, make sure you don't eat, you know, a lot of chicken, and like I don't necessarily know what it consists of. I think Alyssa told me to just cook my eggs very, 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 very well. And also, like, to stay away from milk, because the milk is getting contaminated too, which I don't drink milk. I don't really know anyone who drinks milk. My family drinks milk, and it's kind of crazy, but I genuinely think it's because they've never tried oat milk, so they're like, whole milk, like, it is. But oat milk is so much better. Like, I had whole milk like once, like a couple months ago, and it was disgusting. So I'm like, I don't know how you do it. But as I was saying, we had Big Mac pizza. We went to this like pizza shop, and they had Big Mac pizza, and it tasted exactly what you think it'll taste. Big Mac pizza. It literally is a Big Mac, and it's a pizza, and it's like, it was so yummy. But Alyssa was telling me about the bird flu, and so, you know, just make sure you cook your eggs all the way, and make sure to not eat a lot of chicken, I guess. But yeah, back to what I was saying. Stop dwelling in the past, embrace the right now. I think that's like a very cliche thing, like, stop being in the past, blah, blah, blah. But I have that issue of like overthinking and overanalyzing, and like regretting things. But it's like, you cannot live your life that way. Like, you cannot live your life just regretting every single thing, because you are what you are right now. Like, this is the life that you have right now, and it's all about how you tell yourself and, like, you know, control your future. But speaking of, did you see that Leo Skeppy? Do you know that guy? He's like this tall, like, hot, muscular white guy that used to be fat, and now he's like really fit, and he's like He's like a like motivator, but like in a mean way. Have you seen his TikTok where he's like, where he like talks how like fast fashion and no, not fast fashion, how like high end stores, clothing stores don't cater to like extra large, and he was saying that the clothes aren't ugly, you are, and like referring to bigger people. I like. Sorry, I'm like hearing people scream. I think it's insane that he's doing that because, first of all, how are you going to talk about someone's body and like being like, you know, you're ugly, not the clothes? Like, how are you defending a corporate? Like, he posted a TikTok. He's like defending corporate and being like, oh my god, like it's not, they're not the problem, like you are, because he was saying how like there was another TikTok about how a girl who used to be fat as well was like, also I can say people were fat because I used to be fat. But she was saying how plus size clothes aren't as cute as like, you know, small and stuff like that. And that's where he like talked about it. And it's kind of insane to me because like you like people are already like struggling enough with like how they look. Now on top of it is this like, you know, standard, you know, Western standard, like beauty standard, tall white guy being like, oh no, you're ugly, and like that's insane to me. Which, you know, me being fat, I do feel when I used to be fat, I remember seeing stuff like that and like online, and then that producing, you know, an eating disorder or just like insane insecurity or just whatever it is. Like even up to this day, like I never feel like extremely confident with my body. Like it's something that always is in your head. Like when you're fat and you're like bullied for it or like you're insecure and stuff like that, it always sticks with you no matter how much you change. And I feel like comments from like that person, it's like, dude, what are you, like, that's crazy. Like I think that's the most insane, bizarre thing to ever say. But yeah, like just embrace your body now, embrace who you are now, like just embrace what you are at the moment, and like don't allow outside views affect how you view yourself, because we're all created so beautifully. Like, okay, let's play pretend. Well, not let's play pretend. Let's like, you know, believe, because I'm agnostic, so I believe in everything. So let's believe that the universe did create us from like a, you know, just a perfect, like our insides are perfect, and I genuinely, you know, we're just made perfect. Like our insides are perfect, and therefore our outsides are perfect as well. So that's just like, I don't know, talking about people's image is insane to me, especially, I don't know, like that really rubbed me the wrong way. And it's like, you're on tour to be like a motivational speaker, yet you're like, you're calling fat people ugly. Like that's crazy. Like I don't know, fat phobia is insane to me. Like I've definitely had to cut off people. Girl, I'm sorry, but like that's insane to me. Like how are you gonna be fat phobic? Like I'm sorry, but it's also like the same as ageism. Okay, I think it's kind of funny when people are like grandma, but I will never partake in joking that way, or I will never, you know, applaud someone for joking that way, because we're all going to be old one day. Like we're all going to reach that same age that someone is making fun of. So it's like, you really look dumb when you're making fun of someone for their age, or you're making fun of someone for how they look, or you're making fun of someone for, you know, how they dress. Like I think that's an insane, you know, waste of time. So, you know, just pay attention to how you're talking to people, and pay attention how you talk to yourself. Like, I think we sometimes forget to be kind to ourselves, and like we're judging our body, and like we're judging our mind, and we're judging how we dress and how we look, and like every single thing. When in all reality, like we should be grateful that we're alive and we have free will still. Like if you live in America and you still have free will, like that's something to be insanely grateful for, and it's something that we don't necessarily show the great gratitude that it deserves. So, you know, just putting it out there. So the last one is, you have enough experience to face the storm and evolve from it. So this one actually was really nice and like reassuring, and just like, it was nice to hear, because you sometimes forget how far you've come. Like, you sometimes forget, okay, the so lately, like, you know, I've been telling you that I've been like running into high school friends, and the thing that I dread the absolute most, like, you have no idea, like, it's something that I have nightmares of, is, hey, how have you been? Or like, what have you been doing? Or like, what's up with you? I have this, like, oh my god, like, I just want to, like, I want the earth to swallow me, because I genuinely don't know what to say. I genuinely don't know what to tell you. Like, I don't know what to tell you that how I'm feeling or how I'm doing. Like, I just don't, I don't know. Like, I genuinely don't know. Like, am I going to, like, recap you my past, like, 2 years of life? Or am I going to be honest and tell you that I'm like, I'm overthinking, I have insane anxiety, and I genuinely don't know what I'm doing? Like, I don't know how to answer that question. And I think what will allow me to answer this question in the future, or just right now, like, as I am, I think it's practicing, like, journaling, like, hey, how have you been, or what's up? And like, just practice, or like, just write how you're feeling and what you're doing, or like how you would respond to it. And I wanted to, I'm like, practice an answer, but like, almost practice an answer, like, almost practice what you're going to say. I guess that's what I'm going to do after this. Like, I'm going to practice how I should respond to, hey, how have you been? What's up? Like, how are you doing? Because it's genuinely, like, something that I don't know. Like, I don't know how to answer that. I'm sorry. And it's caused me to, like, kind of, like, take a step back from, like, these friendships that I used to have, because I genuinely don't know how to answer these things. And I think it's kind of sad that I'm at that point with, like, those old friends. But sometimes I think people my age, we kind of just need this time to, like, stay by ourselves, or like, you know, just understand ourselves, and like, and just be, and like, just exist, and like, just do your day-to-day life, and not force relationships. I'm not saying texting these people back is forcing a relationship, but I don't know. Like, I am at the point of my life right now where I really don't want new friends. I don't want any, like, I don't want to hang out with people right now, today. Like, right now, today. Like, as I'm saying, like, me right now, today, like, I'm still so mentally exhausted from just a lot of things that have happened. And like, I just don't have the energy right now to, like, you know, engage in a new friendship and like entertain a new person. And I sometimes feel like, if you're not in my life, like, girl, like, I'll get back to you. Like, low-key, I'll get back to you. Like, low-key, no shade, but I'll get back to you. It's nothing personal, just sometimes you just need that time to yourself. Like, you really just need that time to reflect and, like, think about, okay, let me step back, let me analyze myself, let me see what I've been doing. Like, sometimes you need to see what I've been doing. Like, maybe it's just my double Scorpio and my Aquarius, where I don't need a lot of friends. Like, I'm happy with the couple friends that I have, because I don't have much time to spare. So it's like, when I want to hang out with people, I want to make it, you know, very nice and very, like, worth the while. So anyways, sorry. You have enough experience to face the storm and evolve from it. I think we sometimes forget how much we've gone through, and it's extremely nice to look back and like, look, okay, look, I've been able to go from this, I've been able to do this, I've been able to grow from this, I've healed this trauma, I've had this conversation, I've apologized, I've accepted apologies, I've been cordial with people that I couldn't stand before, all of those things. And you're like, you know what, whatever situation you're facing now, whatever problem you're facing now, you're like, I have you know, I have enough experience to actually do it. Like, if you actually look, you know, through what you're struggling with, and like, actually, like, analyze it, you're like, wait, I think I can do, like, I actually can do this. So I think it's really important to analyze, like, okay, I'm struggling with this, or I need to do this, but here's how I'm going to fix it. You know, I think that is nice, creating a game plan. And I think I was reading about the Mercury and the solar eclipse, and they were saying that that's important to do during this time, because your mind is able to, like, you know, go through it. And I feel like once I do this, I'm going to be more, you know, less anxious and be able to hang out with people and make new friends, because I do want to make new friends, but I think right now mentally, I just can't. It's so draining to me. Like, it's extremely draining to me, and I had never felt that way. But I think it's because I had never really paid attention to what was going on in the sun and in the cosmos and stuff like that. And like, sometimes you just disregard that feeling, and you act on and do and make certain choices that you some later regret. For example, like this time last year, I would like cut off people like so like insanely random, and like this time I'm like, no, like you actually are just a little bit drained. Like, let's not, let's not do decisions that are so, insanely out of the blue. And it's important to just like slow down and just like breathe. I've been journaling a lot. Yesterday I like sat down with myself and I journaled. I answered some questions. I think doing prompts is really important to me, especially yesterday, because I wanted to just have something to write off of, and like it actually does help you a lot. But yeah, I mentally and like physically, I'm kind of like getting better. This week I worked out really well, which is nice. I'm like doing a lot of protein shakes, which is really good and yummy. But yeah, I've just been, I think it's important to take time off of social media and like, just look within and like touch grass and like whatnot. But yeah, that was today's episode. I love you so much. Please be safe.